This is a video review of Transformers Generations Leader Class Jetfire, and this thing is awesome. Now here's the jet mode right here, and it is a very big, very well detailed, and part of what I really like about it is just how smooth it looks. It looks like just a smooth, sleek airplane. It's not quite as panel-lined or rugged looking as the Classics version looked. And it's also very thin. It has a very nice profile, although you can see the faux cockpit here from the robot mode and the head and basically everything that's to do with the robot mode underneath, but that's to be expected with a jet transformer. But from the side, it looks great. From the top, it looks great. And one thing that really surprised me about this is that I really don't mind the extra parts here, like the fast pack and the weapons and stuff. On the Classics Jetfire, I really didn't like them because they were oversized and they kind of ruined the aesthetic and balance of it. But on this one, it really adds to it, I think. And part of it's because of the chrome here. I know some people don't like the chrome, but with how shiny and glossy and smooth most of the plastic is on this guy anyway, I think it fits really well. And that's basically all I have to say about the jet mode, at least of the parts attached. I'll show what it looks like without the parts next, but before I get to that, I want to show you what it looks like next to the Classics Jetfire figure. And you can see a huge difference between these. Now, I won't say that one is better than the other, because they're both very different jets with very different qualities about them. But I will say that this one does handle its extra parts a lot better than this one, because the jetpack on this one is just way too big, and it ruins the look of the jet. So I'll show you what they both look like without all of their extra parts attached. So pull this off, pull this off, pull this off. And there are various places where you can put these ports all over, like under here, on the side here, and even some stuff right here. Pop these off, pop these off. And what you're left with is a really beautiful, very pristine, and well-proportioned jet that it just looks great. The only real flaw with it is just this black hinge right here. And I kind of wish they had made it out of this white stuff right here, but I understand that certain structural parts need to be made out of certain materials, so... and because they need to have black stuff here, I understand the gang molding of this. So anyway, here we have the jet right here, and it looks great. Let's compare it to what this one looks like with that stuff on it. I'm only going to take this off because the guns right here don't really affect the look. So push up the vertical stabilizers, and here we have two really great looking but very distinct jets. And I like both of them quite a bit. I would say that probably the jet mode that I like the most is this one. Not because there's anything particularly wrong with how this one looks, but this one is a bit more solid. And the reason I say that is because the way that the front section up here on this hooks together, it is a little bit floppy. There is some play in here with how the stuff fits, and sometimes stuff will just come undone. Of course, I'm not making it happen on camera, but just trust me, sometimes the front section of the airplane right here does not fit together as well as it should, and you can kind of see a seam here. And that's really the only thing that makes me like the Classics one better than this one. It's just that the Classic one fits together a little bit better. But they're both great, and I really like them. I'll show you what they look like compared when they're all transformed up, but for now this one's going off to the side. So, here's the jet mode itself. You can actually transform it with all the stuff attached, but it's going to be hard for you to see what I'm doing. So, actually, let me adjust my camera a little bit, because I did notice I was a little bit off screen. Alright, so here to start with, what we're going to do is we're going to put up the landing gear, and this landing gear right here does not go away, it just stays right there. You'll fold these down, and then you're going to pop the legs down here away from the rear section here, and then the shoulder bells right here, you're going to untab them from these rocket boosters right here. And then you're going to pop this up, and it's a little bit hard to do because you have to clear an edge right here, and then you're going to bring it down like this. And then you're going to fold the wings up like this, and then you're going to take the nose, you're going to bend it forward, and then hinge it up like this onto his back. Then what you're going to do is you're going to put your finger in right here to push these up, and these will unlock the chest area right here. And then you can pull it down like this, and it takes a little bit of force to do because you have to slide parts past each other that don't really want to slide past each other, and it does feel a little bit dangerous sometimes, but as thin as the plastic here is, it is quite sturdy. And then after that, you'll bring the legs out to the side like this on a hinge right here, and you'll only bring them out about this far, and the reason why is because you then need to bring the arms out like this, and then bringing the arms out like that will give you room for these little bits of the thighs here to move into. So then we'll push these all the way in like this, and you'll kind of have to move the legs out of the way. And the one thing that's important here is that these things, they're little tabs right here, they're tabbing into the side of this thing right here. And then we're not going to bring this up just yet. What we need to do next is we need to split the arms up here. And we need to bring them all the way down like this. Then we can push this up, but you don't want to push it all the way in yet. What you want to do is you want to bring these in, and the way they connect is there's a slot here and a little tab right there, and then there's a tab right there that will tab into the side right there. So we'll push this up, and the reason you don't want to push all the way in just yet is because you want to tab these into the side, and then when you push this all the way in, it'll push the arms into the wings. And then you'll push the arms into the wings, and then you'll start pressing this all together, making it as solid as you can get it. Just squeeze everything together, and we're basically done now. Turn around the head. Oops, the mask fell off. Turn around the head, bring the arms down, and basically now we're just putting him into a pose. You do need to pull the legs out though. And let's get him standing. And this is Generations Leader Class Jetfire in robot mode. And I apologize if some of that was off camera. I'll check the footage before I upload this. If you see this video, you know that I checked it and it was fine. Actually, you should know that anyway because you just finished watching the video. Anyway, this is the robot mode and it looks great. Here is the Jetfire robot mode, the classic Jetfire robot mode. And it is pretty obvious which of these I like better. Which it's this one, because this one's just kind of a blocky, chunky kind of thing that has a lot of the old Transformers Cybertron engineering. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but it doesn't have the subtle grace of the Leader Class version. And I just really like the way this thing is proportioned, the way it fits together, the way it transformed. It's just really cool. So I'll put this off to the side, and this guy's posability is really nice, although it does have some strange limitations to it with the feet that I'll talk about in a minute. So the arms, they rotate up and down. They go in and out, and I really like how the shoulder bell works here, how the side of the shoulder bell fills in, but as you move the arm out, it moves out of the way. I think that's really neat. Rotates above the elbow. Has ratcheted elbow joints that go 90 degrees. The head can rotate around 360, and you can look up and down. It's a very nice head. Legs go forward and back. They go in and out, rotate above the knee, bend at the knee, and then the feet can bend like this on two joints. Now, what sucks about the feet is, well, it's several things that suck about them. First of all, he doesn't have a flat instep. There is a point where if you look at how the light shines on it, let's see if I can get this on camera. Okay, so you see how this is shiny, but it's not shiny here, but then we move it. That means that there's a facet here and then a facet along here. It's not just straight. And what that means is that his foot isn't from here to here. His foot is from here to around here because of that bend. Because the only stable platform you're going to get is from here to here. And that doesn't ruin his balance, but it does make him wobbly, and that sucks. The other problem with his foot is that because he has two hinges here, sometimes you'll bend the wrong hinge when you're trying to pose him. And so sometimes the feet won't bend the way you think they will because you only have so much forward bend when this is all the way forward. If you pull it back, he has a lot more. So it's just sometimes hard to get the feet exactly where you want them to work properly. There is actually one other problem with his posability, and this is one that I detest, which is, look how wobbly his feet are. And what that means is that, say you get him into a pose, and then you put him down, the way that you pose the legs is not the way that they rest on the ground. They splay out when you put them down. And it's not that big of a deal. He'll stand, but it makes him feel a lot less solid. It makes him feel really flimsy sometimes, and that really messes with the tactile feel of the figure. And for a figure that's supposed to be this great, awesome Jetfire figure that's supposed to look amazing and be amazing, that is just such a disappointment. It's not a big deal, but it is a deal. Now, anyway, moving on, let's get him armored up again. One thing that I don't like about this guy is the way that his nose just hangs off the back here. I think it looks kind of ugly and out of place, but if you put this on, it actually works out quite well. So if you put this in like this, and then you pop this back, then it's no longer this thing just hanging out on his back. It's, you got the nose surrounded by a bunch of other stuff that looks like it belongs. So the nose will still kind of move like this. I know I didn't mention this before, but the nose is just kind of free floating there. It doesn't peg into place. It just kind of soft ratchets. It will still move a little bit. I wish that there were like an extra lump here that would brace this a little bit better, but it does make it look a lot better and make it look like it belongs. And because he does have quite a nice long heel, it doesn't really affect his balance that much. And then the way these are supposed to work is that they have these little nubs right here behind the post holes. So if you put them into his arm, there are little divots in the arm right here and right here. So that for the robot mode, they sit straight like this. And then for the airplane mode, they sit at an angle, because in the airplane mode, the arms sit at an angle. So this helps keep them straight. So it's like a small ad hoc ratchet joint that it forms there. It doesn't work super duper well, but it is there. And then these, you can use all of these as guns, but these ones are specifically supposed to go here on the side of the leg. And what's interesting about it is that there's a gap right there for the landing gear wheel. So technically, this in jet mode, this shouldn't ever scrape on the ground, but of course you know it's going to. So let's get them all finished armored up. And the place where I like the tiny guns to go is not in his hands or anything, it's just on his wings like this. And the reason why is because they're just kind of dinky little weapons. I don't think they look impressive, and I like having them someplace. And anyway, this is my preferred look for him. You can take off the helmet, actually. I don't want to forget that. And it is a nice looking head sculpt without the helmet. But I will say I like the way he looks with the helmet better. And yeah, this has been a video review of Transformers Generations Leader Class Jetfire. He's a great figure. I do recommend him, but he's not perfect. You probably saw this through a lot of the video, but he just has a lot of places where it's just really skinny plastic with big gaping chasms in him. So he's good at looking big and impressive, but he's not as impressive to hold as he looks. And that's really the only big problem with this guy, but yeah, he's okay. So anyway, I reviewed Transformers, Digimon, Power Rangers, Macross figures, lots of stuff like that. If any of that sounds interesting, please subscribe, and thank you for watching.